Hello and welcome to BCM 325 Future Cultures. This is part 1 of a 3-part series on future studies, trajectories and planning. And in this video we're going to look at the ancient origins and historical practices of predicting the future. The broader aim of this 3-part series is to introduce you to the origins of future studies, also called futurology, which seeks to understand what patterns in the world are likely to continue and what might change. I'm going to be drawing on the work of Wendell Bell, a futurist and Professor Emeritus of Sociology at Yale University. A prediction is a statement about the future. The word prediction comes from the Latin pre, meaning before, and dicere, which means to say. Thus, prediction is to say an event will happen before it occurs. Humans have evolved to be able to reliably predict many natural phenomena, such as the movement of the sun, the change of seasons, the effect of gravity, and the inevitability of mortality. But up until recently in human history, the future was considered as fixed, inevitable, and predestined by the gods. In classical antiquity, roughly around 8 BCE to the 5th century CE, the civilizations around the Mediterranean Sea, including ancient Greece and Rome, considered prediction to be an important part of everyday life. An oracle was someone thought to have direct communion with the gods. Oracles were different to seers, who interpreted various signs sent by the gods through animals, viscera, or bone casting. PYTHIA was the name given to the high priestesses of the Temple of Apollo from the 8th century BCE at the Delphi in Greece. Known as the Oracle of Delphi, PYTHIA was said to have been filled with the spirit of Apollo and was able to prophesy the future. PYTHIA was a high authority in ancient Greek society and was consulted by rulers, philosophers, and other important figures on matter of state, warfare, social policy, and laws, and even personal issues and family matters. Prophecy has its role in many religions, typically in the form of prophets who claim to have communicated with the gods and make sense of their divine will concerning the future. Prophecy is often connected to divination and the occult, a term which roughly means hidden knowledge and is associated with astrology, alchemy, and magic. Speaking of magic, Harry Potter fans will be familiar with the role of prophecy in that series.
See that girl over there? That's Romilda Vane. Apparently she's trying to smuggle you a love potion.
Really?
Hey! She's only interested in you because she thinks you're the chosen one.
But I am the chosen one. Okay, sorry.
Divination, historically, is highly ritualistic, with many totems, practices, and systems involved that are intended to provide insight into a problem. Many civilizations and cultures have practiced divination rules, often in religious contexts, that involve interpreting meaning from signs sent from a supernatural power. Divination, for example, is found in some form in every society. Sometimes it involves, as its root meaning suggests, discovering the will of the gods. But more generally, it refers to finding obscure or secret things, including discovering the future by eliciting a divine response. In some cultures, a belief in fatalism predominates. In others, the hope of taking action to avoid a calamitous, predicted event or to bring about a desirable one is common. Although it often concerns the everyday interests of particular individuals, divination may also involve grand prophecies dealing with the destinies of whole tribes and nations. While divination is often concerned with large social issues like the prediction of rainfall, fortune-telling is about the personal prediction of events in individuals' lives. Fortune tellers became popular in Europe during the 15th and 16th centuries BCE, emerging from parts of the folklore, medieval ceremonies, and Renaissance magics. These include crystal gazers, soothsayers, clairvoyants, and augurs, although they were actively prohibited by Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. It is not until the 19th century that we see the impulse of prediction begin to be formalized within the information gathering systems of the natural sciences as forecasting. William Channing Woodbridge created an isothermal chart for early meteorological forecasts in 1823 from data collected by Alexander von Humboldt, a Prussian geographer and explorer. The art of prediction has gradually given way to the science of forecasting in the 20th and 21st centuries. As we developed the ability to distinguish between predictions that we can be reasonably assured of through scientific method and predictions based on superstition and the supernatural. Although we've developed new technologies for predicting the weather, mathematical models for understanding climate, and statistical methods to predict the outcomes and affect them, we have also engaged in 2 world wars and developed earth-shattering weapons, shaking humanity's confidence in the certainty of tomorrow. There have been many periods and events in human history that have influenced the way we understand the future and demystified what was once the inscrutable domain of the gods. The Renaissance and the Enlightenment are 2 very broad terms for understanding the way that European societies developed new rules and ways of being that foreclosed on one set of possibilities and possible futures and made possible another. The British Industrial Revolution and the American Revolution demonstrated that such progress came at a human cost, while imperialism, colonization, and globalization continues to show us that the future for some humans has been immensely richer, but this effect is uneven, often cruel, and impoverishing for others. That's the end of part 1 of this video series. And in the next part, we will begin to drill down into the recent past and focus on the ways we have come to think about the future and how that future has changed over the course of the last century. We will also consider the impact of the world wars on the importance of planning.